All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day, whether you're on the East Coast or the West Coast or somewhere in the Midwest. Thank you for doing that. As I hit rename, put my name in the chat, which I should have done before. My name is Alan Vaughn. I'm the general manager of the Daily Nebraskan here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and the president of SimBAM. For all of you who are at the convention, it's good to see you again. We've got a lot to do in a short amount of time. So if you all, Chris, could you drop that stuff back in the chat for the last couple of folks who just joined us? So essentially what we have in there is our agenda with minutes from the last time that we did an official business meeting, which is actually a long time ago, for a lot of reasons which I can explain. But so anyway, so just want to make sure that you all can follow along and find out exactly how exactly we're gonna get after that today. So what I'd like to do, I guess, at this point is turn it over to Chris Richard, who is our secretary and treasurer, and he's going to do our roll call. Chris, stage is yours.
Got it. So please just reply and let us know if you're here. Appalachian State.
Here.
Auburn University. Baldwin Wallace University. Ball State. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Cal Poly Pomona. California State University Fullerton. California State University Long Beach.
Here.
College of DuPage. Colorado State. I see Kim.
Here.
Gonzaga University. Indiana University. James Madison University. Kansas State University. Kent State University. Louisiana State University. Michigan State, that's me. Missouri State. NC State.
Here.
New York University. Northeastern Illinois University. Northwestern University. Northwest Missouri State University. Oregon State. Texas A&M. TCU, Texas Christian University. Texas Tech University. Tulane University. University of Alabama.
Here.
University of Hawaii at Manoa. University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. University of Michigan. University of Minnesota. University of Nebraska-Lincoln. University of New Mexico. University of New Mexico. University of North Carolina, Charlotte. University of Oklahoma. University of Oregon. University of Pennsylvania.
Here.
University of South Carolina.
Here.
University of Texas, Arlington. University of Texas, Austin. University of Texas, El Paso. University of Utah. Utah State. Virginia Commonwealth University. Washington University. Washington State University. Weber State University. West Virginia University. Western Kentucky University.
Here.
Thanks, Chris. If anybody knows anyone well enough to text them and be like, hey, did you come in today? Feel free to do that. I was doing that while Chris was talking.
We do have quorum.
We do? Great. Excellent. Thank you, Chris. Okay. So if everybody can see in the chat there, we posted the minutes from the last Simbam business meeting. Now, here's the thing. The last Simbam business meeting officially was in April 2022, which seems like a lifetime ago to me. And that was before I became president. And as Chris and I were putting the agenda and the board packet together, we had to like run through and be like, how did this actually go? And so the way that this has gone since then is that was the last official business meeting that we had. Since then, we did a state of Simbam at the convention and then emailed that strategic plan out to everyone, which is also a part of that packet that's in the chat. We also did an audit committee report that Zana and Michelle and Jake from Utah helped us put together. So we've done all the things but just as we have moved around when the convention was, when we're doing elections, all of those things have been kind of piecemealed out. So now we're hoping that we're back on more of a regular type of schedule for these things. Of course, we would love to be able to do some have more of our folks at the convention to be able to do the business meeting there. So more to come on that in the future. But what we need to do right now is to do an approval of these old minutes from back when, who knows if Tyler Sprague was even in college. Tyler, were you in college in April 2022? Yes? Okay, good. Okay, excellent. So
Yes, I was.
okay, good. All right, thank you. So Chris, what's the best way to do this? Do we just do an aye, nay, oppose, or?
Yeah, we would have a motion and then
Excellent.
somebody would second.
Can I get somebody to make a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I motion we approve the minutes from 2022.
I second.
All right. All in favor, say aye or hit the cool raise your hand button on the thing.
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Bless your heart. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Okay. So rolling down through the agenda, what I would like to do from here on out is number 3 is 2023 board reports. Now, some of you may have heard some of these things at the convention, but thought that it would be good for us for posterity's sake, for the folks who weren't there to be able to watch this recording or see in the minutes, have it on the record. So really what I just wanted to do was really try to encapsulate a lot of the things that have happened since that time frame that we were talking about from April 2022, moving through when this board was was elected, and then through to even the convention that was just a month ago. So first off, I do want to thank, I just want to take a minute to thank the board. That student media is super hard and just on its own, and trying to figure out how we can steer a student media organization through the pandemic, coming out on the other side, trying to figure out what it should look like. That all stuff is really difficult. So I just want to thank you all for that, and just to take a moment to be recognized for that. And some of you are not going to be board members maybe in a couple of months, or might have a different role, or whatever that looks like. So thank you for all of your hard work. The things one thing I wanted to mention was, when we came up with the strategic plan that's included in there, we came up with 3 major goals. First of all was reestablishing the in-person training opportunities. And we had not done one for a while. So thank you to all of you who came back to us in 2022. And then of course, all of you who were there just a month ago. That was something that we weren't sure anyone would come. We didn't know if this is what people wanted. We weren't sure how that was going to go. And thank you to all of you, and those who aren't here, that were able to participate in that and find value, find relationships, and all that. And so I think that was really important for us to see as we're trying to figure out what our members want, as we talk about trying to super serve members where they are. That means a lot to us, that we're able to put together something that a lot of people found value and continue to get value of. And as all of you probably follow along from your from getting emails from Sam, our communications director, is that those slides and various pieces from that are now in the member resources, which has been very important to us to build that. That was also one of our goals, was to grow those member resources. Some of you might be parts of organizations that put together really, really big, important conventions, and then maybe that's it. Or maybe there's something along those lines. We know that our members, their time is valuable. And I said this to before, so I'll repeat myself. I am the son of a retired school teacher. And she taught me at a very young age that different people learn differently. Some learn from hearing, some learn from reading, some learn from watching, or whatever. Some people don't like to talk to other people. They want to watch a YouTube video. They want to do this. And so it's us trying to figure out how we can disseminate that information in a way that makes sense and is accessible to everyone, whether they can come to the convention or whether they are in a crisis and need to figure something out very quickly. We want to be there for all of our members and help them. And so that was really important for us, is to grow those member resources. And we are continuing to do that. Catherine will probably talk more about that. And then one of our goals was to end the school year with 75 member schools. Well, we did not exactly get to that. Sarah's going to talk more about the challenges and the opportunities that a lot of that represent. But it's something that when we even created her job, which has not even been, did you do 12 months? Did you do 18 months or 1 year? Yeah. So trying to figure that, we've learned a lot. And I think we have a great game plan and set up really well for the next VP of membership. And then it's also good to have relationships with all of you to be able to try to figure out how to grow that and reach the student media programs that need us the most. The goals that we set for this year, or did I say this year, 2023-24 school year, let's call it that. We just wanted to increase member-to-member engagement, trying to bring, whether that is the listserv, whether that is that in-person convention, whether it is some of these Zoom trainings or events or whatever we want to call them, the attendance at that, the interaction with that on our member resources. We're wanting to find even more of that. I still think back to the bowling event at the convention and how much fun it was, and how I wasn't surprised. I guess I was pleasantly surprised at how well it went. Looking back at those pictures, they are amazing. And so just that type of camaraderie, it's now how do we bring that to life in lots of other ways until the next convention. So those things are very important to us. We also, again, want to keep continuing to increase the digital resources that we have on our website. And also part of that wasn't really in our goals, but I think the member-to-member engagement digital resources has to do with the Slack that we've created. And I'm sure Tyler is going to talk about that in a little bit. And then also, we'd love to end this school year with 75 member schools. Now, I don't know if we're going to get to that point, but again, I think that I feel good about at least trying to raise where we are, and we have a couple of different marketing things and partnership things that we might have coming down the pike that we're trying to work on. So that is essentially the broad overview of what we've been doing, and now I'd like to turn over to our Vice President of Membership, Sarah Scarborough.
Hey, thank you, Alan. And thank you guys all for coming today. I'm going to give just kind of a brief overview of what I did in the year that I served in this role, along with my committee, who was fantastic. Sean Kilpatrick from Auburn, Nicole Pilcher from Nebraska, Joshua Peterson from Utah, Josh Wood from UNC Charlotte, and Tyler from the University of South Carolina, with a couple of board members here and there joining us. But, you know, this was a big beast because the records that we have aren't necessarily cohesive. And so we've gone from CRM to Google spreadsheets. And so one thing that I did to try to get a handle on it was I went through the 12 to 15 SimBAM, what do you call them, schedules for the conventions that I've attended, and literally went through and counted each year, made a list on a spreadsheet, looked at all of the spreadsheets that we did have, and then look at the member press records that we have. And so from that, we were able to build a list of about 131 former member schools. And so we've got a really good blueprint. It's a lot of institutions. One thing that we discovered as we started the outreach portion is that there are a lot of people that have retired, a lot of positions that are vacant, a lot of schools who have done away with the whole business side. They maybe have outsourced to, they've been maybe rolled into an academic unit. They've received an increase in fees. And so the push on that piece of the student media experience is not as relevant at some of these programs. There were even a few schools that had stopped production. And so that's a real challenge when you have to spend a ton of time just poking around to find out who is the person that you need to talk to, send them information, try to get a phone call. And so like sales, it's you make 50 calls and you might talk to 2 people. And so over the course of the year, I think the committee did a great job of that outreach, but what it requires is some really focused follow-up and just laser-like attention. I mean, this could honestly be a full-time job for a year, quite frankly. But we are at 51 members for this year. We did have, let me look at my notes. Sorry. I think we had 8 that did not renew from 2022, 2023. And so we were able to get, 8 former member schools to renew. So we are flat with where we were last year, but we did have those members that didn't renew. But from the people that I can talk to, people are open to it. And I do believe definitely that we can hit the 75. We run into a problem with the timing, because once you get further into the year, we're past the conference. And so that's where some of the year-long programming has come into play. But the term is still going to end June 30th. So there's kind of a window for recruitment, and I kind of considered what it might look like if we opened up the terms of membership to be a full year from the date that you sign. I talked to a couple of member schools, picked the brains of some people, and at the end of the day, while it made sense because it would open up the recruitment window, logistically, it would really be a nightmare to manage. And I actually talked to somebody at ACP who managed that because they did make that change, and she said they switched back because it was just such a nightmare. And so I think one of my goals was just to build clean records. And so for that reason, I thought it just was probably better to stick to the June 30. So now we're running into a period of, can you get people to join? And are there incentives to get people to join for a shorter term? Do we extend to a certain period? So I think there are a lot of solutions, and I don't think there's any reason why recruitment can't stop. But I think we're in good shape. I think we've made a lot of outreach. It's really just to the point now where it's follow up. And just it's kind of an ongoing thing. And so again, I think we're in good shape, and the next membership person hopefully will hit that 75 based on the work that the committee did this year.
Thank you, Sarah. Chris, Richard, floor is yours.
Okay, everybody. So in terms of, again, my name is Chris Richard. I'm General Manager of State News here at Michigan State University and Treasurer and Secretary of SimBAM here. So we are 51 members strong. All have paid their dues. And financially, when you look at our overall financial status and where we're at, we're still a healthy organization. We have money in the bank sitting there for whatever the membership and the executive board decide to do with. So right now we have roughly about, when we include the sponsorship money that's still coming in from the convention, we'll have about $29,000 sitting in there. So we're at a pretty good number. The board is always very careful about our expenditures, and we keep our costs as low as we possibly can. And if you attended the convention, you had seen the changes that were made. So the board is aware of that, and we have moved our books from QuickBooks, which was a little bit more expensive for our organization. We moved them from QuickBooks to Zoho Books, which is just a cheaper system that doesn't have all the bells and whistles of QuickBooks, but we don't need that. Yeah, that seems about it for on terms of finances. We did do a audit committee, and I want to thank all of my audit committee members. We did the audit for 2022, so it was from January 1st to December 31st. We filed our 990s on time, and then we're getting ready to do this next audit committee coming up in January for the 2023 year. There you go.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much. That report is in all of the documents there, I believe, if you'd like to take a look at that. Okay, Tyler Sprague from South Carolina is our student director. I will turn the floor over to him.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyler Sprague, the marketing director at South Carolina. I'm also the student director for the SimBAM board. This year has been a lot of things have happened, and I've learned a lot just by kind of honestly participating with the board. The year started with really finding how to best engage students, and that was found in the membership committee with Sarah, bringing in a lot of new member schools, and it quickly turned into also working with the programming committee and Catherine working on monthly programming as well as the convention programming and fun events like the bowling tournament, which was a blast to play in and a blast to actually participate in. I think that was a big highlight of the year. And so through all of that, it started to become clear on exactly what the main goals of the student director should be going forward. And that is really just directly engaging with all students and having students and members engage with each other. So that is kind of what spawned the creation of our Slack channel. And that's kind of what we've been working on for the last few months. And it's finally up and going. It's not like fully completed yet, but it is up and going, ready to join. And a few things planned with that are some more channels being added, some admins being added to get like question and answer channels, and just really promoting the regular and consistent use of that channel. So big things coming from there.
Thank you, Tyler. Okay, now I'll turn it over to Sam Oldenburg, who is our communications director.
Hey, everyone. So Alan said, I'm Sam Oldenburg. I'm the Assistant Director of Student Publications at Western Kentucky University, and been SimBAM's Communication Director for about a year and a half now. So during that time, I've just been working on trying to be consistent in our communications, getting word out as we've, changed conference schedule and awards schedule and all those things, and keep everyone updated. And communications really involves a lot of working with other board members to kind of further and communicate about what we've got going on. So I've been working with Catherine and the programming committee, both on promoting the conference, as well as adding to our online resources and building out that section of our website, and also collaborate with her committee. And there'll be more this year on kind of having some monthly themes that they're talking about and ways that we can share that on our social media and generate additional communications content that way. Worked with Sarah as she onboards new members to the organization so that we get them onto our listserv and introduced to other members and part of our communications. Then also work with Julie and the awards on recognizing members throughout the year. So in addition to kind of blasting out lots of information about what SimBAM as an organization is doing, one of my goals going forward is to kind of work on ways to facilitate kind of sharing among schools, letting people know about cool things going on in different schools, and sharing that kind of information as well. So looking for ideas for that and working on that as well.
Great, thanks, Sam. All right, next up is Catherine Ross, our programming and events director.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Catherine Ross. I'm the executive director at the Daily Pennsylvanian at the University of Pennsylvania and the programming director at SimBAM, or for SimBAM. I've been in this position since February of 2021. I'm currently serving a board term that ends next January 2020. December of 2024, excuse me. Programming has done a lot over the past few years as we sort of reimagine SimBAM and reimagine what we can do for our members. We have worked with a great programming committee, Sophie, Tyler, and Madison from University of South Carolina, and Jennifer Newton at Cal State Long Beach. And we've done a lot of cool things over the past year, including moving the conference to the fall and sort of changing up our monthly programming and what we're going to be doing for membership, including creating all the materials on the member portal that Sam referred to, which have been very, very helpful, I think, for some of our new advisors, especially. Programming for 2024, we're bringing back the programming elect position. This will be another advisor that can help facilitate helping organize the conference and, again, these monthly training sessions that we've been doing. What else? Gosh, there's so much. I don't even know what else to add. But looking forward to adding this position and, growing the offerings that SimBAM will be doing in the next year. Did I miss anything, Alan?
You could probably talk for the next 20 minutes or so, and
I could, but I don't want to. So.
I don't want. We don't want you to either. We'd love to hear you talk, but we don't. It's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Thanks,
you did a
boss.
great job, Catherine. Thank you. All right, and our last but not least director is our member recognition and awards director is Julie Salter. Julie.
Hey, everybody. I'm Julie Salter. I'm Assistant Director for Advertising at the University of Alabama and member award and recognition for SimBAM. So this year was, as has been mentioned, like 3 times. We have changed our awards timeline, right? So last fall, because we moved the convention and conference to the fall, we decided this year we wanted to change our awards timeline so that we could do that in person, right? And so many of you saw our awards this year. We did our individual awards as a separate entity on Zoom in the spring, but we kept the kind of like group awards in the fall. That is a great conversation that the next person in this role and I will have as we move forward, that conversation on the timeline. The number, I think the biggest thing to note this year is the number of schools who entered the awards went up, as well as the number of schools who won. So we had more schools enter and we had more schools win. So to me, that's really great because the diversity of entries and winners is important to us. The awards committee the year before I joined had revamped and redone a lot of the categories and entries. So we haven't touched that in the past couple of years, but there's probably some forward thinking on new things that everybody is doing and how to incorporate that into our awards as we move forward. The other piece is finding ways to recognize during the year. And so we did Member Monday for a minute, and then it gets kind of cumbersome to find new people to talk about and get their responses. And so that kind of fell off this year. But I think that was a piece of what I really enjoyed and was pleased with last year. So looking forward towards other things that during the year we can recognize our SimBAM members as well. I think that's all of my updates.
Thank you, Julie. Look at that. We've already done 3 of the 5 bullet points, and 5 is we're done. 5 is adjourned. So we only have 1 left. That is under new business, but really we wanted to hold this time to hear from our candidates. So you're speaking to each other, speaking to the recorded video here. We've not really done an in-person forum quite like this. It was either, the way I understand it, it was at maybe a convention, you know, you're like, hey, I think I'd like to run for this thing. And then you're like stumping and talking or whatever. Or we've gathered all of your information and put that online. So thank you to all of the candidates who did that, and Sam for putting that out. So the way that the election schedule is going to go is that voting will begin as soon as this meeting is over. We will drop the that in the chat, and then also we will email that to the membership, and voting will close. Did we decide what time, Sam, that we're closing this, or it just says the date?
2 Central Time next Monday.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And then the terms will start January 1st. So sorry, you're gonna have to cut your holiday short. No, I'm kidding. We'll have our meeting sometime after January 1st. But you will officially be a board member at that point. Okay, so I've got these listed out here. And Julie, I don't know, maybe I should have put this agenda together a little differently, because we're going to give you the floor as that you have shown interest in the vice president of membership. So I'd like to give the floor back to you for a little bit.
I don't have to introduce myself again, right? Fresh. I'm on top of the month. Hey, everybody. Julie again. So a little bit about why I decided to run. One, SimBAM is a really important group for me. It immediately made me feel connected to other student media professionals when I started in this new role 7 years ago. So it's not technically new anymore, probably, but going to that first convention and meeting people that were doing the same thing I was doing in another place was such a refreshing experience, because no one else on campus knows what we're doing, right? Like, we are the only people in our town, right? Before, when I was in media sales, other people were doing media sales. There were other radio station professionals. There were, this is like such a different entity. Even in my office, no one else knows, right? So to me, being a part of this group, being a part of the board, and helping expand this and opening this world up to others is very important. Sarah has done an amazing job this year with beginning the process of organizing everything to make our membership growth possible. Last year, when we kind of all the board took this on, when Sarah was not in this role, we all divided it up and reached out. I really loved that. I got a lot of yeses. I enjoy that. I'm in sales, right? So it's very satisfying to have something where you can get yeses. And so I'm very excited about the potential to, one, get to know everybody who's in our membership currently, which I do know a lot of our membership already, but two, really work to expand the non-members' knowledge of what we're doing, why we're here, and how we can help them, their departments, their world. And so I think the membership is very important to those of us who are here, because the more people that are involved, that are coming to the conferences, that are engaged on the listserv, the better our experience is. But there are so many people that are doing this and don't know that what we are doing and what we can do to help. And so the membership, the VP of membership is an important role in that regard.
Thanks, Julie. Okay, now we're going to move to a new position, the programming director-elect, which is really to make sure that this is a new position that we've have just created, which, Catherine, correct me if I'm wrong, this is just to make sure that we have some continuity amongst all of our programming, and we're doing more programming than ever, yes?
Correct. So we actually used to have this position a long time ago, if you get in the way back machine. And bringing it back, I think, just to address those key points, right? So we have some more continuity in terms of planning, having someone who's more engaged in the speakers that we're selecting and the types of sessions we're offering, not only at the annual convention, but month to month in our Zoom trainings.
Great, thank you very much. So we have two candidates, and we'll go to Krista from Colorado State University. Krista, I'll give you the floor.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. My name is Krista Reed, and I'm from Colorado State, Rocky Mountain Student Media. And I feel really strongly about giving back to SimBAM. I have years of experience in media, sales, digital advertising, and since coming to CSU, I've been able to work with my team here and come up with some really great new programming and revenue streams that have done really well for us. I've launched a new digital advertising team here that works solely on following all of our ads, doing all the digital stuff, social media ad boosting, Google ad campaigns, all kinds of things like that. But my experience in media and advertising has been 30 years. And for 10 years, I ran a national parenting magazine, which really gave me both sides. I was the editor-in-chief, but I was also the sales director and social media director for a national magazine for 10 years. And so coming from media and being in the trenches has really given me a unique opportunity to come to student media and show really new, relevant, and exciting programs. And that's what I want to do in programming. For the convention, I really believe in partnering with sponsors, increasing sponsorships to bring in more high-profile speakers, which then would increase participation from a lot of the other schools. In my experience, I've been fortunate enough to interview celebrities with the magazine, but in particular news people that I have connections with. And I would really love to bring in my knowledge and expertise and the connections I have to really improve upon what Catherine's already been doing. And I would love to work with her. I've planned in my career at least 25 conventions, national conferences that brought in keynote speakers, breakouts. We had kind of a fun raffle. And I believe in doing that where you have fun events at the convention to raise money for the next year. So one of the fun ideas I did come up with, which I thought would be really cool, is if everybody had came up with a spirit basket representing their university, and we promote those silent auction items or raffle. And then at the convention, we could do a raffle, and then the money we raise for that could go back into programming. I think it'd be fun for the schools to come up with fun things that represent their university. And I think it'd be really fun for students and advisors to have the opportunity to possibly win baskets and contribute to the success of the next following year. So with that, I don't want to be too long-winded, but I would love to bring my energy, enthusiasm, and years of experience to the role of programming elect. I think I could really bring a lot to the table. And I think with some of the programming ideas I have for convention and ongoing, it would really bring relevant, real good skills that you can bring back to your own student media organizations and be successful.
Hey, thank you, Krista. All right, next up is Jennifer from Long Beach, from the beach.
Hi, everyone. Krista, those are some great ideas. I hope whoever gets this, the other person is on the programming committee so we can I think those are awesome. I'm Jennifer Newton. I'm from Cal State Long Beach. I've been in the business advertising and public relations advisor for Beach Media, which is our overarching publisher for our student media, the Daily 49er, Dig Magazine, Dig in Espanol, and Beach TV News. I've been doing this for about 5 years now. And when I got into this position, I knew nothing about it. I didn't know what to do, what it was, and it was really just advertising sales. So I was really lost, and my background is more in public relations and marketing. So Simbam was such a godsend for me because I could ask questions. I never felt stupid. I never felt like I couldn't ask anything. People were so willing to share their forms, their trainings, everything that we needed. And so it's such an amazing community that I'm so incredibly grateful to have been a part of and continue to be a part of. I'm running for the programming director-elect because I do want to give back to this organization who has given so much to me. I love the conventions. I think they're so fun, and I think that we've done a great job at restructuring them, and we can continue to grow in that respect, hopefully with more attendees, different things like the bowling that we did this year. And I've been serving on the programming committee for the past year, and have also been a part of creating the new themed months that we are starting to play around with. And what are those tools that we can continue with each month and each year and build on them to help the different schools, because everyone's needs are so diverse. One thing that I was really interested in is really kind of broadening how we think about the business side of media. I know that you guys were saying a lot of schools have, cut their departments or shrunk their departments, things of that nature. And I think it's such a missed opportunity for business students, and especially in the media world. And it's not just advertising and business operations, it's distribution, it's web and technology, it's social media, creative. It encompasses so much, and there's so much learning there. So what I would love to see is aside from continuing with obviously improving the conference and continuing to grow that, and then also continuing with the monthly themes and how we're presenting that in different ways. I would also love to see some more activities, maybe when the school year starts, to help do some trainings that are more broad. So for example, for us, our advertising team was all new this year, and we didn't have a lot of students who had any advertising specific experience. So if we could bring in a guest speaker on Zoom right in August, right before we start to go to school, we're doing all of our trainings that is specifically talking about sales techniques, that could be a help to many people. We could do the same thing for distribution. You can do the same thing for boosting posts on social media and how to monetize that. So I would love to see kind of a bit more maybe live in person when we go into the school year to help train our student media. Other than that, yeah, I love this group. I'm so grateful for everyone in it. And I hope I can be your programming director-elect.
Thanks, Jen. Okay, next position is Member Recognition and Awards Director. And first up is Allison from Appalachian States. Allison, I'll turn it over to you.
Hey everybody, my name is Allison. I am the student media advisor for the Appalachian newspaper and the PO Literature and Arts Review at Appalachian State University. We're in Western North Carolina. I'm in, I think, academic year about 15 of advising student media. I've worked at App State, SCAD, which is a private art school in Savannah, and also Virginia Commonwealth University. I have a background in journalism, so I've learned everything about business on the job, which has been exciting and also terrifying. And SimBAM was a huge help for that. When I was advising at SCAD, we were one of those organizations that did not have to bring in any money. It was a private school, so we got funding based on whether the university liked us that year or not. So it was always a crapshoot, but we weren't allowed to sell ads. So when I got to App State and suddenly we had to bring in, I think it was like between $72,000 and $92,000 a year to operate, I was like, oh no, I have no idea how to do any of this. So I ended up joining SimBAM, I think in like 2015 or so, and went to a conference that year. And it was just absolutely amazing to learn everything and to learn how to advise the students on the business side. I have a degree in journalism, a degree in photography, and a degree in like audio kind of stuff. So again, business is just not really my bag. But I've learned how to kind of manage that and advise that. And SimBAM has been amazing for helping me through that. So that's one of the reasons why I want to serve on the board of directors. I did serve on the board of directors for College Media Association for about 4 years. And that was really enlightening to kind of see how that organization runs and why people join and what they get out of it. And also kind of those gaps for how we could better serve our members. And I think I can bring that knowledge into serving on the SimBAM board of directors. I think through expanding what we offer for awards, both for the annual awards, but also just sort of those regular wins, something kind of like, I think I mentioned this in my write-up, but sort of like those Member Mondays, but like the small wins that people kind of get throughout the year. I think just kind of recognizing some of those and talking about some of those would be beneficial both for celebrating our members, but also like helping to be a resource for more people. I ended up doing a session at the conference for CMA in Atlanta, and it was about business and advertising sales. And everybody in there was from the editorial side for the most part. And they're like, I have no idea how any of this works. And I got a few emails from people that just like, okay, like how do I get started in this? So there's so many people that need this organization. And I think by expanding our reach, offering more of those accolades, more of those abilities to kind of get those accolades would be beneficial for spreading the gospel of SimBAM, essentially. And another thing that I found too is that, again, coming from more of the editorial side, the editorial students a lot of times don't really see the benefit or why we have a business office or why we have sales students. So I think kind of offering more ways for them to also get those accolades and to get celebrated is really key for really kind of balancing that playing field and making sure that everybody knows that they're working toward the same mission, toward the same goal. So yeah, that's just a quick rundown. I think I wrote a lot more. I've been sick since last week because I had 2 conferences back to back. So sorry if I sound a little nasally right now. But yeah, I would love the opportunity to serve on the SimBAM board of directors, and thank you for considering me.
Thanks, Allison. All right, Rob, you are next. Floor is yours.
I'm kidding. My mic's on. Hi, I'm Rob. I'm from Weber State University. I'm the business manager for the Signpost, our school paper. Last month when we had the SimBAM convention was the first one for me. I've been a member of SimBAM, I think, 3 months now. I just had such a great experience at the convention, and it just touched me so much that I wanted to be more a part of it and participate more. So that's why I threw my name in the game. I don't have any journalism background. I don't have any degrees in journalism at all. I'm in fact working on my degree right now in communications. I have worked here on campus for over 12 years. And one thing that I've learned is how important recognition is and what that can do to someone's life and how much that can make a difference. I know for me, I had a boss who asked me how I wanted to be recognized because everyone doesn't want to be recognized the same. And when just the fact that he took the time to ask me how I want to be recognized, that brought my performance and my love for my job up 1,000%. I've been the business manager for about 18 months here at the Signpost. And for the last year, I decided to break out some of the positions of my street team because I knew what my students' strengths were. And I recognized that right away. And I gave them certain job titles that they could use on their resumes and kind of the day-to-day tasks that they do in their job based on what their strengths are and what they're passionate about, and to keep them coming back. I've heard my staff members tell people over and over again when they don't think I'm in earshot, how much they love their job and how much fun they have. And I really felt that spirit with SimBAM. So I look forward to serving any way that I can. And I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Rob. Our next and final position is a student director, and I am just so thrilled to see all of them here after seeing all of them at the convention. So we are going alphabetical by last name, and I'm a V, so I never know what it's like to go first, but Christina, I'll let you go first.
I'm very used to it at this point. So hi, everybody. My name is Christina Agresta. I'm the Director of Business Operations at Beach Media, and SimBAM basically changed my entire life. I attended my first convention last year as the managing editor of the Daily 49er, and I left as a PR major who is now the Director of Business Operations, who now does finance for fun. So I definitely just want to share my experience. I have loved the opportunities I've had at SimBAM. I've made some great friends like Tyler, as well as all of Michelle's kids at Fullerton. And I just want to, in this position, be able to connect students throughout the year in ways that maybe are a little less professional and formal. I think the Slack was such a great idea that Tyler came up with. And I kind of want to build on that and give students opportunities to network and hang out and just vent about their jobs with each other without the advisors, and really share our resources. We're only as good as our network, I feel. And I think for us at Cal State Long Beach, a lot of our students don't have a background in business. Pretty much our entire team is a journalism major of some sorts or a PR major. And so I think it would be a really great opportunity for all of us to be able to sort of build on each other and be able to ask, hey, you know, I'm struggling with this client. Do you have any tips? You know, sharing our media kits, maybe doing peer reviews, that kind of thing. And I definitely want to also encourage us to do better in our programming. Our programming is amazing, but I also think at our conventions, I want to give students an opportunity to feel a little less, I don't know, sometimes I feel like in big crowds, we get very anxious. We're Gen Z. Tyler's nodding, yeah. And so I want to give students an opportunity to kind of have a more casual way of connecting, maybe pre-conference. That way, once we get there, we already know each other and we've already formed bonds that then we can grow in person. But yeah, I just love SimBAM so much. I love being a student. I'm going to be sad the day that, you know, I no longer work in student media. And I just want to make sure that all students around the country who work in student media like us get the opportunity to really form the bonds that I have and make the connections that I have. So thank you for considering me.
Thanks, Christina. Ethan, I got a chance to hang out with Ethan and Allison at the whatever the reception there. So I'm glad to see you, Ethan. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Alan. Thank you, everyone. I'm Ethan Batchelor. I'm the Student Business Manager of the Appalachian Student News at Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. I was not expecting to be in student journalism at all. I don't really know anything about journalism until, really last year when I really started to get into it. I've been a retail worker for about 5 years, working for Publix supermarkets, one of the largest employers, and one of the largest employee and grocery stores in all the Southeast. I think going from serving the customers and they don't have a problem coming in to, oh no, I actually have to reach out to all these customers now. It was a big change for sure, but it was definitely a challenge that I overcame, and it was just amazing to work in that towards that challenge, and whatnot. But yeah, I think SimBAM has been a great experience for me so far. I enjoy the emails every week. It's very interesting to see just what all occurs just outside North Carolina. Being in Boone, we are very remote. So it's definitely interesting to see what all is going on. And I'd love to bring some more ideas that I have that we've used at the Appalachian, such as our Giving Tuesday special. We work with a lot of local nonprofits. Boone is home to many nonprofits in the area. So I'd love to bring that idea to y'all and just have more interactions between the schools, and really just work more with the SimBAM board directors as well. But yeah, it is absolutely a pleasure to meet with y'all, and I hope that I can at least be some inspiration to you all, at least.
Thanks, Ethan. All right, Tyler, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alan. Hi, it's me again. I'm Tyler Sprague, Marketing Director at the University of South Carolina and the current Student Director of SimBAM. I first want to reflect on just my time in SimBAM so far. Last year, I was very lucky to be able to go to the conference at all. Our school does not get to send a lot of people, but I had a great opportunity to go with our marketing team. And after about, let's see, how long was that conference? About 48 hours of being exposed to SimBAM, I found myself not being nominated to go into the student director position last year, which is not how I thought that conference was going to end at all. But it has so far been one of the best experiences in my entire college experience. Being this past year the student director and just seeing how the organization operates and just being a part of everything, it's really heightened what I felt at last year's conference into just an absolute love and passion for this organization. And so after all of that, I decided to go for re-election simply because I have some unfinished business. We had a lot of great projects that really didn't have a conclusion yet. One of the big things is the Slack is just now getting off the ground, and I'd love to see that come to fruition. I loved Christina's ideas for the Slack because that is essentially what it has been designed for. On top of that, we had a lot of great work done in the programming committee that I'd love to see it be even more student focused and more about the students and their engagement. We had kind of started a social media programming schedule and for regular consistent social posts, because I think that's a very big component about gathering students' attention. So yeah, simply put, there's a lot of things that I would love to continue to do. And I've really just fallen in love with this organization, even after the small amount of time that I've been kind of exposed to it. And that's all I really have. So thank you guys for considering me again.
Thanks, Tyler. Love hearing from all the students. I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad that that you all find value in what we're trying to do and see the vision of what we're trying to build and make it in your image. So greatly appreciate all of you making time to be here. And if we got you out of class, just ask someone for a note and we can probably get you out. All right, so thank you to everyone. Thanks for all the candidates. It's so exciting to see so many people want to get involved. And of course, I'm very partial, but I feel like we have a really special group and excited to get some new faces onto that. I wanted to ask, and this is the new business portion. Does anybody? I know we're a little bit after the top of the hour here, but is there any other discussion? Anybody like any clarity on anything that we have gone over? I can open the floor up to anyone. Michelle, are you gonna say something?
I wanted to ask one quick thing of Sarah, and I know that there's so much logistics with the membership, but there's something that's done here at Cal State Fullerton with our student clubs. Would it be possible at all in January? Like, so for if we're trying to help recruit different campuses or different universities to join, like a half price special, so that would just be from like to get people in like January to July or January through June for like $95 or $100?
Yeah, there's actually a function on MemberPress where we can have a coupon for a certain period of time, and that's something that we have talked about, because the later you get into the year, the more difficult it is, obviously.
Sure.
And I
Yeah.
think between that and your state association and other state associations,
Yeah.
that's a huge resource that's not been tapped.
Yeah. So I know Jen and I have talked about the like trying to pull in, like I had that conversation with the Cal Poly Pomona, like, but some of the other schools to try to the other Cal States to get them in. So if we could have an option like that, I think it could help right now at least.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Sarah.
It's a great idea. Last year, when we were getting people to sign up in February and March, we did hey, if you get in now, you get full price for the next year. So I think we, for us, the money's important. And I don't want to say the money's not important. It's important, but it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is getting people in, right?
Mhm.
And showing them and getting them the help and the value, and then obviously growing and learning from them as well. So all of the ideas, I think we're open to it. Sarah nailed the earlier one, which is, I just hope we don't open up a logistical can of worms that is difficult
Yeah.
to put back together. But I think we're smart about some of that. I appreciate you asking that, Michelle.
Mhm.
Long Beach, this says you have your hand raised.
We do. I just have two questions. Is SimBAM open for community colleges?
Mm.
It is, because California has a really strong community college and they're incredibly well funded and are always looking for resources. So I think that would be an area to tap for membership. If they are eligible, they show at ACP like almost better than our state schools.
Yeah.
So just a thought for that. And then I was curious for the student directors, the students who are going for the student director position, what year are you guys in your studies?
I'm a junior.
So you're going into your senior year next year?
Yeah, going into this will be
Okay.
my last chance.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm a sophomore.
Okay,
Hell yeah.
sophomore.
Good for you.
That's really great to hear.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Tyler, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say for all of the elected positions that if you haven't already, definitely go check out all of the write-ups for the campaign platforms. A lot of these platforms go to a lot more in depth than can be shared within a short little spiel. It's great to hear people's voices, but there's a lot of great details on all of the platforms on the website if you haven't checked those out yet.
And thank you, Tyler. Also, I will say that the way I got involved in SimBAM and the way that others are going to continue to get involved in SimBAM is through being on a committee. And just be, if you want to be a director, I think that is fantastic. If you're like, I don't have enough time for that. It's like, I bet, we could find something for somebody on a committee. And so as you're thinking about yourself and your peers, it's, is there something that I think, do I have this idea, whatever that is? Now be warned, there's maybe that's a little bit of how we might get you to come in and be a, full-fledged board member at some point, but there's a lot of work to be done and great ideas to be shared. So hopefully that all of you will find a way to be involved at some way at some point. Anyone else have anything else before I ask for a motion to adjourn? No?
No, you have one more question.
I have one more question. Oh, Michelle, yes, 1 vote per university. Is that correct? Election aficionados, yes? Yes. The answer is yes. 1 vote per university. So use it wisely. Speaking of The link to vote is in the chat now. If you all would like to participate there, and then we're going to send it out to the rest of the membership later. Is that the final question? That is the final question. Okay. Thank you all for your time today. Thanks for investing your time in SimBAM, and we greatly appreciate it. And happy holidays. Oh my God, we're almost there. We're almost there. Anyway. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it.